Welcome back to Free Speech Nation. Now, a British mum was visited twice by police and even referred to Prevent just for going on a trip to Israel. Holly Passmore, a 43-year-old single mother from County Durham, was grilled about why she visited the country, who she went with, and if she felt safe. She'd been on a delegation organised by the Israeli embassy, not Hamas, and says she was gobsmacked by the accusations. Campaigners are calling the probe absurd. Since when is visiting an ally of Britain a radical act? Joining me now is the woman herself, Holly Passmore. Holly, welcome to the show. Now, Holly, I'm familiar with you. I'm familiar with your work, such as it is, which is, you know, you're an ally to Jewish people online. Your handle is @mummyIsTired, and you have tweeted about the injustices that you have seen over the last 2 years.
It's been horrendous.
Talk me through this. You went on a trip to Israel, you come home, what happens next?
I was trying to have a nap because my son doesn't sleep, and there was somebody at the door, and I thought, oh, it'll just be Amazon, I'll just leave it. But then they kept knocking and kept knocking. I thought, right, I'm going to have to go down. And there were 2 police officers there. They identified themselves. They were in plain clothes, and they said it was a safeguarding matter. So I thought, is it something to do with my son? And they said, you've recently been to Israel. And I said, well, my son didn't go to Israel. I left him with my mum and my daughter, who's 20. And they said, no, there's been a complaint made about you. And I just...
For going to Israel?
Yes. And I sat down on the step. I didn't let them in the house. I sat down on the step, and they asked me what my links are to Israel, whether I planned on returning to Israel. And the whole thing, the whole context was Israel. And then I said that I'd gone with the embassy, and they wanted a number for somebody at the embassy so they could contact them. But it was just preposterous. They asked me why I was interested in kind of Jewish issues, obviously because County Durham, it's not a Jewish area.
You're not Jewish?
No, I'm just human, and so are you.
Yeah.
So, they asked me if I'd ever visited Auschwitz, and I said yes.
That's the most insane... A police...
I don't know if they see it as some kind of radical kind of ideology. I don't know whether...
No, I mean, that seems to be the context, is that somehow visiting Auschwitz is part of the radicalisation. Starts with Auschwitz and it goes with you going to Israel.
You get onto the harder stuff and you go and have falafel.
And then they end up with bagels.
Yeah, that's the really hard stuff.
So they're asking you this, like... The tone, I guess, is you'd somehow done something wrong.
They were fine. They were fine. It was just so absurd, and I really didn't understand what was happening. So after they left, I contacted my friend at the embassy, and I said what had happened, and she said, are you sure they're real police? And I thought, well, maybe they're not. So I called the police force, and I said, is this definitely you that's come out? And they called me back about an hour and a half later and said it was them. So I thought, right, I'm going to have to complain. So I put in a subject access request to find out what the heck it was about. And I put in a complaint. And then David Collier, who you've mentioned in the show, he put a post on, you know, saying it was absurd. And then Darren Grimes, because he's in my area, picked it up. And the police didn't seem to enjoy that very much, that it was on X, and they got in touch. And then I had the superintendent and the head of Prevent out. The
head of Prevent?
I think, well, if he was Prevent or if he was the head of the team that came out, because it was safeguarded, so, but he's associated with Prevent.
OK.
So, and they said that I'd been referred to Prevent. It was an anonymous referral while I was still in Israel, and because I got caught in the 12-day war, the beginning of that. They said that they had to look into it.
So, I mean, Prevent is an organisation set up...
For terrorists.
For terrorists, to stop radicalisation of particularly young people, but to stop the radicalisation leading Islamist terrorism.
It's usually young men between kind of, I think, 11 to 20, something like that. That's the age group.
So coming to a single mother because
43 years old with 2 children.
for visiting Israel.
Yeah.
Did they give you any kind of
There was
explanation?
no context. I mean, I've got autism, but it's not really associated with terrorist
Does that make you
activity.
vulnerable? Is that the idea?
Well, I suppose it could be. I mean, some people could be vulnerable to radicalisation.
Do you have any idea who actually did?
No idea. Absolutely no idea. And I don't know what information they gave, but I've certainly never done anything radical.
I mean, this is what's so scary, is that I'm imagining that there are mental people out there, frankly.
Malicious
Yeah,
people.
malicious people and mental people who will recommend you to prevent.
Yeah.
But when it actually goes to prevent, goes to the police...
They have to have meetings to
they'd have to
discuss it.
sort of go, OK, well, let's look at what the actual facts here. Is this a legitimate
what
complaint or not?
profile could I possibly have
Well, this is
fit?
it, exactly. When they're talking this through, what is it that they would go, oh, well, this is worthy of us investigating further?
I mean, it's an insult, really. I mean, people like Axel Rudikbana were referred to prevent.
I think three
Times.
And
But I mean, that's the kind of level that you'd expect, not a mum that visited.
so have they taken this any further since?
No.
So what? So they came the second time to your home.
Yeah, and they said that, you know, clearly I'm not a terrorist.
That's nice. You should get a T-shirt made up.
Yeah, I'm not a terrorist. But I didn't feel at all like the police were mean to me. I felt like the guy who worked for Prevent and the neighbourhoods or safeguarding team, I felt like he was really knowledgeable about anti-Semitism. I think the problem's probably higher up.
Yes, well, that seems to be what it
Yeah.
indicates. Someone higher
They
up...
have to follow those processes.
Well, I don't think they do. I mean, they don't have to if it's an obviously malicious complaint, which it was.
Yeah.
So for them to actually follow through on it, that's
Maybe
what
just
seems
thought there was
massively
kind of an
problematic.
outlier in the Durham Dales.
I'm just saying, if they're coming to you...
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to Israel a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Do I need to be properly... Does anybody? I mean, Israel, of course, is an ally.
Well, that's the point as well. I don't know what a Jewish terrorist is or what a Zionist terrorist is. What is that? And what's happened in society to make them believe that Zionism's radical or can lead to terrorism? Because I've never seen anybody...
Well, this is it. I mean, Zionism...
you don't see Jewish people committing terrible terrorist
violence
atrocities.
in that way. I mean, all Zionism means is that you think that Jews have the right to self-determination in our ancestral homeland. That's
exactly.
in our indigenous homeland. That's all it...
Exactly.
I know that word is twisted by anti-Semites, but that's the reality of all it is. And the far majority, 80% of British Jews are Zionists.
Yeah.
I think only 6% say they wouldn't be. Does this mean that the Jewish community now needs to be sort of referred to Prevent?
I really don't have an answer to that. I don't know how they're thinking about it. I mean, we have looked, me and Nicole Lambert, we have looked at different articles, different publications, and it seems like they are trying to equate Zionism with right-wing extremism and, you know, that kind of...
Well, we saw the Trans Pride yesterday in London, and they had a big... They put out a sort of poster online, the social media post was like, no... we don't want any xenophobia or racism.
No, neither do I.
And then it says at the bottom, and no Zionists. And you're equating the worst of humanity with this very simple ideological position of decolonisation. That's what Zionism is.
It's just wrong. It's just wicked. And I'll keep advocating and I'll keep speaking out about it because it's all wrong.
Look, Holly, I'm sorry that this obviously happened to you. I hope that we can get to the bottom of this, that someone higher up can actually answer why this would happen, why you would have the police repeatedly coming to your door for the terrible crime of visiting Israel and speaking up for Jews.
Well, it was a wonderful trip and I'll return. I'll go back again and see more of the place.
All right, cool. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, Holly. A Durham Constabulary spokeswoman said each Prevent referral is reviewed to determine whether further action is required, including, where appropriate, assessment to determine if there's an immediate security threat or whether a vulnerable person is a genuine risk to radicalisation. Next on Free Speech Nation, we'll be asking if Britain is turning into a surveillance state as police plan to launch an elite squad just to monitor your social media posts. See you in 2 minutes.